1 in 5 American adults have some degree of hearing loss. So why aren't folks taking care of that? To tell us more, we're joined by audiologist Dr. Danny Gnewikow, and that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. I think there are a lot of reasons. I think one of them is denial, and we all like to keep our male macho image and think there's nothing going wrong with us. And a lot of times we assume we hear better than we do. A study done by the CDC found that about 25% of people that think they have normal hearing have measurable hearing loss. A study done back in 2006, it's in the Journal of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, found about 30%. They said there's nothing wrong with our hearing when they took an interview, and yet when they made measurements, they actually had some hearing loss. Now, was it enough to do anything about? Perhaps not. But a lot of people have hearing loss and they're simply unaware of it. And there are a lot of reasons. I think in addition to people denying, I think sometimes we blame other people. It's not my hearing. People just don't speak distinctly. If people would speak distinctly, I would not have any difficulty. And again, most individuals with normal hearing would not blame it on someone else. So I think sometimes blaming someone else kind of takes the responsibility off of our shoulders. A lot of people are hesitant to deal with hearing loss because they think, well, I'll have to get a hearing aid. Well, eventually you might, but checking it doesn't necessarily mean you'll end up getting a hearing aid or having surgery or anything like that. At least check it so you know. When it comes to the hearing aid issue, a lot of people say, well, I knew somebody one time that had a hearing aid and it whistled in their ear all the time, so I don't want to get one of those things. When in fact, that's no longer an issue. There are algorithms now that solve that, so a properly fit hearing aid doesn't squeal in the ear. Some people say, well, I know I have a hearing loss. I've finally gotten to the point that I admit it. But you know, I can't handle it. It would be too small. I've got arthritis. Most hearing aids now are automatic, so that you simply put them in your ear and they do pretty much the work for themselves. And then people say, well, they're just too expensive. And yes, they are expensive, but when you consider the cost of glasses over the life of a hearing aid lasts you 6 to 10 years. If you buy glasses over a period of 6 to 10 years, you spend about the same amount of money. With hearing aids, you only buy it one time over that period, and it can be reprogrammed. So I'm not sure finances is as big an issue as it's made to be. There are more and more insurance companies now that are helping a little bit, but it still is a consideration. So I think there are a lot of issues. But again, I think one of the biggest ones has to be the denial, and I'll use myself as an example. I wear hearing aids. I've had a hearing loss for about 15 years. My wife kept telling me I was having trouble hearing, and as most husbands react, it's selective listening. There's nothing wrong with my hearing. You don't speak distinctly. Until my office staff started telling me the same thing. And lo and behold, I finally gave up and said, you're right. So there are reasons not to do something about it, but this is something that impacts everything you do, and you really need to take it seriously. So if there is doubt, just swallow your pride, get it checked, and most of the arguments you have about doing something about it, most of those are really not major issues, and there are ways to resolve those.
And another point I want to touch on too, for vanity's sake. You know, I don't want to wear it. People will think I'm old, things like that. And on you, you can't even tell you're wearing them.
I'm wearing hearing aids, you can't see them. We make the false assumption that hearing loss is a sign of age. We put hearing aids on children. It's no more a sign of age than wearing glasses. But with the newer technology, they are so small that you really don't see them. And if you're really concerned with vanity, what do I look like when I give people answers that are inappropriate and everybody in the room rolls their eyes back and say, well, I guess they're losing it now. When in fact, their brain is good, but their perception was not as good.
Right.
So sometimes when you say, what do I look like with a hearing aid on, it's the wrong question. It's what do I look like when I don't do anything about my hearing. But cosmetics is no longer an issue.
Very good point. Audiology Hearing Aid Associates has many doctors to serve you. Their Lynchburg location is on Langhorne Road, and their number there is 434-528-4245. In Danville, they're located on Main Street, and you can give them a ring at 434-799-6288. You can also find out more online at digitalhearingforyou.com. And we'll be right back.